This morning, the search continues for two men missing after a boat capsized in the Wisconsin River.
Plus, the rout on Wall Street continues following the worst day for stocks since 2020. How Americans' investments are looking this morning.
Good Friday morning, everyone, and welcome to News 3 Now This Morning. I'm Kyrian Lee.
And I'm Chris Stanford. Thanks for joining us. We want to start right away with the search for two missing boaters on the Wisconsin River.
The Wisconsin Dells Police Department says that a boat capsized around 4:30 yesterday afternoon. It happened just south of the Kilbourne Dam. At least 3 people fell into the water, but 1 person swam safely to shore. Multiple rescue boats were launched, but due to high flow of water from the dam, divers could not search underwater. So search efforts have been on hold throughout the night because of darkness and unpredictable flow of the river. But again, that search is expected to continue this morning. Authorities have yet to identify the missing boaters.
All right, let's get to Jacob Montesano, your first warn forecast here on a Friday as we head into the weekend. How's it feeling out there this morning, Jacob?
Well, definitely a bit cooler out there, but it's not as windy as yesterday, so that is the good news. And really, the winds have kind of let the temperatures drop quite a bit. Right now, we're in the upper 20s to lower 30s out there with partly cloudy skies, about 10 to 15 degrees colder than this time yesterday. But like I mentioned, we're not really seeing any wind, and that is the good news. Much of the area registering calm winds at this hour, and even those that are registering winds, they're below 10 miles per hour. We're also very dry. We're going to be dry for much of the day, but we do have a chance of rain a little bit later. Now, we'll see partly cloudy skies early, but by around 10 a.m. to noon, we'll see the clouds increase, and then we're going to see mostly cloudy skies for the afternoon with those light showers developing in the late afternoon into the evening, and some of those showers will continue overnight, but the rain will be very light, and it's possible a lot of the area misses out on the rain entirely. So timing out your forecast today, highs will be near 50. Light wind throughout the entire day. Expect consistent cloud cover by around 10 a.m. and especially for the afternoon. Much of the area will see highs near 50, maybe a bit cooler as you get closer to the lake. The good news is that the rain looks to clear out for Saturday. I'll talk more in detail about your weekend forecast and tracking a small chance of snow. All those details a little bit later.
All right, we'll talk to you then. Jacob, thank you. Stocks continue to nosedive this morning. Stock futures are looking as bad as they were yesterday morning at this time. Dow futures are down more than 1,100 points. The S&P and NASDAQ down significantly as well. This comes right on the heels of Donald Trump's tariff announcements on Wednesday afternoon. Also overnight, China announcing 34% reciprocal tariffs against the U.S. Yesterday, the Dow lost more than 1,600 points. It wiped out about $2 trillion in American investments.
U.S. allies and adversaries are planning economic retaliation after the latest round of U.S. tariffs. That includes some trade partners like the EU and China. They have a window to negotiate before reciprocal tariffs take effect next week. Economists project the tariffs will push costs for businesses and consumers higher. It's at odds with the president's campaign promise to lower prices for consumers. And we do have new details this morning in the case of a once missing pregnant Beaver Dam teen. Police found 17-year-old Sophia Franklin, who is 5 months pregnant, at a truck stop near Omaha, Nebraska. A trucker became suspicious when she saw Franklin with 40-year-old Gary Day, the father of Franklin's unborn child. The trucker alerted police and they took Day into custody. Beaver Dam police tell us the 2-month-long Amber Alert worked as intended.
In the end, everything worked like it was supposed to. And in the end, we put a lot of resources. But in the end, Sophia was the most important person. She was what we were concerned about. We were worried about Sophia, getting her back home and making sure that she was safe.
Police are now focused on reuniting Sophia Franklin with her family. Our sister station in Milwaukee talked to her mom after the news broke.
I can't even begin to say how grateful I am. They found her on her birthday. Like, wow. If that's not a God thing, I don't know what is. Just so thankful that she's no longer with this man.
The suspect, Gary Day, has active warrants in several states, according to the Sarpy County, Nebraska sheriff. In Wisconsin, Day faces charges of child enticement and abduction. Right now, Day is still in custody in Nebraska, but agencies are working together to figure out where he will end up. The general manager of Madison Metro is stepping down.
The move comes during months-long contract negotiations for Metro workers and following a string of attacks on bus drivers. Our Maddie Heinz reports.
That first year or two was certainly a big challenge.
Justin Sturenberg started at Metro in March of 2020.
We had a lot of ambitious goals to deliver on projects, and I knew that I had to do that.
In those 5 years, he's led efforts like the rollout of electric fleet vehicles and the city's first bus rapid transit route.
Ridership is growing dramatically, and I think it's people are voting with their feet.
But within the past few months, the agency has faced service interruptions due to concerted driver action and ongoing contract negotiations between the city and the union representing Metro workers. Sturenberg says staffing is actually right on track.
So we are essentially fully staffed. Many of those staffs are in training, so they're not in service, which obviously has some impact, but we are essentially fully staffed.
Most recently, a string of driver assaults, 3 that were reported to police in the past 5 weeks, has caused concern in the community.
It's unfortunate we've had a couple of those this year, but they are extremely rare here in Madison and at Metro, especially compared to other agencies around the country.
Following a physical attack that resulted in a concussion for a Metro driver over the weekend, another agency representative provided a statement to us reading in part, quote, "Staff will start working on putting together an incident review board made up of drivers, supervisors, and other union representatives to review each of these recent events to make sure all the correct actions were taken." Sturenberg says a similar committee does already exist, but has room to grow.
We're trying to expand that to include a wider pool of people and bring in some other viewpoints and other urgency responders and things like that.
He says procedural safety improvements are ongoing. The Teamsters Union is expected to release more information on contract negotiations Friday. Reporting in Madison, I'm Maddie Heimsch, News 3 Now.
Sturenberg's last day will be May 30th. Madison Park Superintendent Eric Knapp will serve in his place while the city searches for a long-term replacement.
Now to other news this morning, the Better Business Bureau is alerting consumers of an increase in peer-to-peer payments.
Our consumer reporter Michelle Renee Quinn is here with the risks and how to protect your money. Good morning.
Chris, Kyrion, good morning. Payment services like PayPal, Zelle, and Venmo pose a greater risk because unlike traditional banking systems, these apps do not always shoulder the cost of fraud. Common schemes include fraudulent and canceled payments and fake emails. The BBB says to protect yourself, only use money transfer with people you know personally. Enable multi-factor security features because in the unfortunate event that your phone is lost or stolen, be sure criminals can't access your payment apps. Choose a strong password, biometric security devices, or two-factor authentication security is available on most smartphones. And you can always check the account after peer-to-peer transactions to ensure the money is transferred. If you need to call the company, be sure you have the right customer service number. Go directly to the company's website instead of doing a quick search. It's especially important to remember that if your payment method is attached to your bank account or credit card, unauthorized access could drain that account. So definitely be aware of who you're sending money to and how you utilize these apps.
All right, Michelle Renee, thank you for all of those good tips. Like I said, a very slippery slope with those peer-to-peer payments.
They're helpful, they're really useful when you're sending quick payments, but outside of that, you definitely want to be careful. Know who you're sending it to.
That's right. Michelle Renee, thank you.
6:08 now. Average rates on a 30-year mortgage has dipped for the second time in 2 weeks. They dropped to 6.64%. A year ago, they were at 6.82%. It's a modest but welcome boost if you're looking for a home. Economists predict mortgage rates will continue to lower as investors exit the stock market. Low mortgage rates can make homeownership more affordable, of course. Many Americans, though, may hold off on buying a home if they're worried about their financial stability during an economic downturn.
Let's check in with Jacob. What's coming up?
Cloudy skies for much of the day with some light rain later, but the weekend does look dry. All the full details coming up.
And coming up in morning sports, John Blackwell is declaring for the NBA draft, why he's keeping Wisconsin in his back pocket before the deadline decision.
And we've made it to Friday, which means we are working for the weekend in the 608 this morning.
You're watching News 3 Now this morning. Moving forward.
Oh, we have made it to Friday, folks. That means we're working for the 608.
That's right. Josh Fryder joining us in studio this morning with his 3 things to do this weekend, Josh?
Hey, good morning, guys. Happy Friday. It is the first weekend of April, which means we're starting to see the transition to more outside events as the weather gets a little warmer, of course. Saturday is set to be a fun night at Stevens Field. UW-Madison soccer is set to take on Forward Madison FC for a local showdown. Gates open at 5. Families can enjoy beats from DJ Andre, along with family-friendly activities like face painters, balloon artists, and petting zoo animals. Kickoff is set for 6. Tickets are available now, starting around $24. Starting tomorrow, UW-Madison Science Expeditions kicks off a full weekend of fun. We previewed this yesterday in the 608. This is a campus-wide open house featuring hands-on science exhibits, presentations, and tours. Outdoor activities will also take place. We have a link with the full schedule on channel3000.com. And finally, this weekend is the final late winter market at Garver Feed Mill, which means the Dane County Farmers Market returns to Capitol Square next weekend. We'll be live with the preview of that next week. But in the meantime, be sure to support your local farmers Saturday morning from 8 to noon. We have more happenings this weekend in the 608 on channel3000.com. First weekend in April, guys. What do you guys got going on?
Stuff.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I was like, there's always something. Like, I always draw a blank. I'm like, wait a minute, what do we have going on? We always have something going. We're always on go. So I'm not sure just yet.
Always. I know. My time always fills up. Like right now, I don't have anything planned really, other than like family dinner or whatever. But it always fills up.
I'll say
sure
something
does.
always comes up. You never know. But lots to do. Hopefully the weather will start cooperating for us real soon too.
I just want like some consistency. Is that too much to ask for?
Yes, this time of year, yeah, it is,
Is
unfortunately.
That's all I'm asking, because I just want some warmer weather so we can get out and about and not worry about snow on Monday and all those things.
I know, and it makes a difference, right? Like the sunshine, the warmer temperatures, it's a big mood booster.
Yes. Well, lots to do. Josh, thank you.
You bet.
Josh is always looking for inspirational stories to share in the 608. If you have an idea for him, reach out and let him know about it.
Well, let's check in now with Jacob, who's here to get you ready as you head out the door. Good morning.
Good morning, Kyrian. Today is going to be pretty similar to yesterday, maybe a little bit cloudier, but temperatures will be similar and overall conditions will be pretty likely what we saw yesterday. We aren't going to be as breezy, and we do have a chance of rain later today. Those are really the two big differences, but the rain chance will be very light. We are expecting dry conditions then for the weekend, with flurries expected for Monday, so we do have another chance of some snow. Might be the last chance, can't say for sure, but there's no other snow chances in the forecast after that. So for today, again, cloudy skies by the afternoon. We are going to see that light rain for the evening, but it will be just that, very light. Much of the area may not see any rain at all, and even if you do, it's not going to last very long. Likely not going to see any thunderstorm activity, and we're certainly not going to see any severe weather. And this also is going to clear out before sunrise Saturday, so much of the day will be dry, maybe some lingering rain, but we're not expecting that. And by the afternoon, it'll kind of be opposite of today, where skies become more clear as we head into the afternoon. Now, looking at today's forecast again, highs will be near 50, cloudy skies for much of the day, winds very calm. And as we look at the weekend forecast, temperatures will be similar, but we are going to see more sunshine. A little bit breezy for Saturday, but the wind not going to be too awful. And then for Sunday, not as windy, temperatures a little bit milder as well. The average high for this time of year is 52, so these temperatures are very close to that. Now for Monday, we are going to be colder, and that will bring in the chance of some snow showers. The good news is that it will move in well after sunset Sunday, likely not until after midnight Monday morning. So it's mostly going to be a Monday morning system where we are going to see a few snow showers move through. But the good news is that it does look to clear out pretty quickly. We're not expecting accumulation, but we still could see some slippery roads Monday morning. But anything that does accumulate, again, we're not expecting anything, but if something does, it will melt very quickly. And then for Tuesday, we are expecting dry weather. Beyond that, we're not really going to see much either. This is the precipitation forecast over the next 7 days. And as you can see, we're going to struggle to even get to 1/4 of an inch. So overall, it is going to be much drier than the last couple of weeks. And with the amount of rain we've seen, we definitely could afford a little bit of a break from the rainfall. Don't want to get too dry and have drought conditions reform, but for now we'll be okay. And the good news is that after Monday, we are going to see those temperatures slowly warm up into the 60s by next weekend.
After a sophomore season where he averaged just under 16 points and 5 rebounds per game, John Blackwell has declared for the NBA draft, but he did leave the door open for a return to Wisconsin. Blackwell announced the news on social media saying, quote, "My goal has always been to play in the NBA, and going through the process, will take me one step closer to my dream. He added, if I decide to wait another season, I plan to come back to play for Coach Gard in Madison. Well, Greg Gard is fully on board with Blackwell's decision, calling it a win-win opportunity for John to receive feedback from NBA personnel while retaining the ability to play for our program next fall. The deadline for Blackwell to make his decision is 4 o'clock on June 15th. Other men's basketball news, Andrew Rohde has committed to Wisconsin. The former Brookfield Central standout comes to Madison after 2 seasons at Virginia. Rohde averaged 9 points and 4 assists per game last season while shooting 41% from 3. Bucks on the road taking on the 76ers, and this quickly became the Giannis show. Deer off and running, and Giannis with the behind-the-back dime for the dunk. He finished with 20 assists, 17 rebounds, and 35 points. That is one heck of a triple-double for the Bucks big man. Bucks win it 126-113. Casey O'Brien has pretty much won every award possible this season. And Thursday, the Patty Kazmaier winner added USCHO Player of the Year to her long list of accolades. This season, O'Brien led the country with 88 points and 62 assists and set Wisconsin program records for points in a season, career points, career assists, and became the highest point scorer in Badger men's and women's hockey history. Well, speaking of the national champs, the Badgers were on hand at the Brewer game, jumping around with Barrelman and taking in the game against the Reds. No score in the fourth. Sal Frelick up, and he sends a slap shot through the infield to score Jackson Churio from third. That lights the lamp at AmFam. Brewers win 1-0 the final. It was a night of celebration for the Wisconsin wrestling team. Chris Bono and company honored their 3 NCAA qualifiers, including All-American Zan Fugit. And what a run he had at the championships. Seeded 14th, the Badger redshirt freshman wrestled his way to the semifinals and eventually finished 4th on the big stage, which fulfilled a childhood dream.
Being All-American, it's obviously something I've dreamed about as a kid, so it's something that's really important to me. And kind of like my coaches have been telling me, it's like once you become All-American, once you become a national champ, that's something no one can ever take away from you. So it's just a special moment, and I'm very grateful for everything that everyone's put into me to get me to that level.
And that's it for Morning Sports. Have a great day.
Still ahead, a songwriting legend is set to release a load of new music, and now you can win tickets to the Midwest Horse Fair.
We're back right after this.
All right, we're back. Linda says sunrise at the lake. She obviously lives nearby or on the lake here, and I don't want to say the lake's name because I always mess it up a little
Lake
bit.
Koshkonong.
There we go.
There we go.
One of my favorites.
Kanong.
Kanong. Lake Koshkonong.
How
There we
much more
go.
Wisconsin could you get saying that?
Yeah, I know. You know, there's lots
We'll
of
get you
names.
there. We'll get you there.
Yes, I'm learning slowly but surely. There we
Beautiful
go.
shot, though.
Yes. Well, let's move on to our trending stories this morning. But first, we're going to start you off with a question of the day this morning. So listen closely for our morning viewers. When did the Midwest Horse Fair start in Madison? This is for you all to answer at home for a chance to win some tickets. So you have your answers A, B, or C. So we have 1983, 1974, or 1979.
So head to our website, and if you answer correctly, you can win 2 4-packs of one-day admission tickets. The contest runs today only. So go to channel3000.com, look for the link, and then go to the horse fair, April 11th through the 13th at the Alliant Energy Center.
So that's coming up again. If you need us to read the question again, you just need to know, when did the Midwest Horse Fair start in Madison? That is your question. If you get it right, you get a chance to win some tickets. So
I wish I knew that answer.
It's funny. I almost like just guessed. I didn't realize it was a competition. I thought it was just for fun.
you got to go to the website and answer, Jacob.
I actually don't know the answer, but it would just been a guess.
we don't know the answer yet. Somebody in the building knows the answer, but
Not us.
Not right now. But we do. Somebody knows it. Yes.
Well, trending this morning, Bruce Springsteen. He is set to release over 80 new songs this summer. The Tracks 2, the Lost Albums collection, includes 7 full-length albums with songs that have never been heard by the general public. However, Springsteen says that his close friends have heard these songs over the years. He says the songs were written over the course of his decades-long career and were finished during the pandemic. The collection drops June 27th. In 10 days, an all-female crew will aboard Blue Origin's rocket and blast off into space. The crew got together for a photo shoot for Elle magazine. Katy Perry, Gayle King, Jeff Bezos' fiancée Lauren Sanchez, among the women who will go on that quick 10-minute space flight coming up here in 10 days.
Would you guys do that?
Yes.
I don't think so.
Absolutely.
I don't know if I could. I think my
so.
anxiety would get to me.
Just a little bit.
I feel like I got to try it if I was given the opportunity.
That's opportunity of a lifetime.
Yeah. Okay. Well, Jacob, before we go, can you give us a little recap?
Yeah, it's going to be much drier the next 10 days than the previous 10. Just a few small chances of precipitation here and there.
All right. We're back right after this.
This morning, the impact of new auto tariffs, how one Wisconsin mechanic is reacting.
Plus, time is ticking for TikTok, what it will take to avoid a ban.
Thanks for joining us this morning, folks, on a Friday. I'm Chris Stanford.
And I'm Kyrie Lee. Thanks for waking up with us this morning.
We do want to get right away to some urgent news as the search for 2 missing boaters on the Wisconsin River will continue this morning. Wisconsin Dells police say that a boat capsized around 4:30 yesterday afternoon just south of the Kilbourne Dam.
As search efforts resume this morning, police say additional resources have been requested to assist. Police say at least 3 people fell into the water, but 1 person swam safely to shore. The name of the 2 missing boaters have not been released at this time. Multiple rescue crews are assisting in the search using boats with sonar capabilities as well as using aerial and underwater drones. But there have been some challenges during the search. Police say due to fast-moving currents, divers were not able to search for the missing boaters. And overnight, search efforts were suspended because of darkness and unpredictable flow of the river. But we will update you here on air and online at channel3000.com as we learn more.
Jacob's in for Savannah this morning, their first one forecast. Jacob, how's it feeling out there?
Definitely a bit cooler, but also less windy, so kind of a win-lose situation for us. Temperatures right now, upper 20s, lower 30s. Some areas actually in the middle 20s, and further up north in the central portion of the state, some areas are actually close to the teens. But again, the better news is that we aren't really seeing a lot of wind right now. Much of the area registering calm winds. A little bit breezier as you get closer to the lake, 12 miles per hour in Milwaukee, but still not too bad at all. We also are very dry. All this disturbance you're seeing on the radar, likely not precipitation. And we're going to remain dry for much of the day, although I do want to point out much further south of us, there is expected to be quite a bit of severe weather again today. And these areas were just hit by the severe weather Wednesday, where there were a few tornadoes. So potentially another dangerous situation further south. Now, for our area, we're going to see plenty of cloud cover today. Some sunshine is expected early in the morning, but by the time we get to around 10 a.m. to noon, we'll see complete cloud cover. Highs will be near 50. Winds will be light throughout the day, and looking at the highs throughout the area, much of the region, we'll see highs near 50. A little bit cooler as you get closer to Lake Michigan. Now, we're going to see a chance of showers today and then a chance of some snow next week. Might be our last round of snow. We'll have to see, but I'll track out the precipitation chances coming up a little bit later.
All right, Jacob, thank you. Continuing to keep an eye on the stock market this morning. Stocks continue to get hammered as we keep a live look up of New York City this morning, where Wall Street is. Dow futures in overnight trading are down more than 1,200 points. The S&P and the NASDAQ also trading well below what they finished at yesterday. This comes right on the heels of some breaking news from China. The country announcing 34% reciprocal tariffs on imports of U.S. goods as retaliation. Meantime, Asian markets continue to decline overnight. This comes after a catastrophic day on Wall Street yesterday, the worst day since 2020. The plunge wipes out more than $2 trillion in U.S. investments. The rout began immediately after President Trump announced sweeping new tariffs on trading partners from across the globe.
Here in Wisconsin, 25% tariffs on imported cars and car parts is already taking a toll on some businesses. Ryan Oymoyne sells and fixes used cars. He says he's seen an increase in prices on parts that come from overseas.
I've seen like $1 increase on brake pads already. Oil filters have gone up a little bit. I guess what it's going to do is make parts again that aren't made here more expensive.
There's going to be an increase of what, about $10,000 to the average car, maybe 12, depending on the car.
One marketing professor says tariffs could be good in the long run, but also disastrous. He says that tariffs will first impact the consumer.
So President Trump hopes that tariffs will make car companies work to bring manufacturing back to the U.S. German manufacturer Volkswagen says that its U.S. dealers will start to break down the cost of tariffs on you right on the sticker. Volkswagen made a third of their cars sold last year in the U.S. Those sales won't be affected. However, other models will be hit with that 25% tariff. Volkswagen imports the Jetta, the Taos, the Tiguan from a plant in Mexico, and other models from Germany.
Meanwhile, tariff-related layoffs have hit 5 U.S. auto plants that supply factories in Canada and Mexico. Automaker Stellantis paused production at some of its Canadian and Mexican auto parts assembly plants due to the new tariffs. As a result, some U.S. workers will be temporarily laid off. U.S. employees work at 5 different plants in Michigan and Indiana.
The clock is ticking for TikTok. A bipartisan law is set to ban it over national security concerns. That is, unless the Chinese parent company sells it by tomorrow. The White House says it's working on a deal to keep TikTok in U.S. app stores. Under the U.S. law, ByteDance, the parent company, has to sell at least 80% ownership to a non-Chinese company. China seems reluctant to do that, but President Trump is floating the idea of using more tariffs as leverage. A deal also has to meet a couple of other requirements here. The first is that TikTok and ByteDance can't coordinate on data sharing due to privacy concerns. The second is ByteDance can't control TikTok's algorithm out of fear that China could use it to influence Americans.
In more local news this morning, Rock County officials are urging drivers to slow down and stay alert as construction season begins. In the past 5 years, there have been more than 10,000 work zone crashes across the state. The crash has caused 56 deaths and thousands of injuries. Officials are reminding drivers to eliminate distractions, follow posted signs, and obey the move over law to protect road crews. National Work Zone Awareness Week runs April 21st to the 25th. Go Orange Day is on April 23rd to support highway safety.
Wisconsin Supreme Court Justice Ann Walsh Bradley has been elected Chief Justice. However, she'll be holding on to the Chief Justice title for a few months because she is retiring in July. She'll pass the torch to Justice Jill Karofsky. It comes 2 days after the liberal majority scored a victory Tuesday, securing a 4-3 majority. Justice Susan Crawford will replace Justice Walsh Bradley, who was elected in 1995.
Happening today, the 3rd annual Day of Mercy. It's in collaboration with Mercy Health Dental Group and the Catholic Multicultural Center. This event aims to provide free, essential dental care to vulnerable populations. That includes the homeless, refugees, and struggling children and families. So if you need dental care or would like to contribute, you can find that information on their website.
The 2025 NFL Draft in Green Bay kicks off in less than 3 weeks, and this morning officials are warning football fans going of possible scams.
Our consumer reporter, Michelle Renee Quinn, here now, who's going to show us how to protect yourself from identity theft. Michelle Renee?
Chris, Kyrion, good morning. With hundreds of thousands of visitors expected to attend, officials say scammers will likely use many methods to convince consumers to give up personal information. Now, scammers may target consumers with surveys, prize giveaways, quizzes, and fake apps asking for personal information. The Department of Consumer Protection says those are not affiliated with the official draft. Experts recommend using credit cards for purchases. They offer fraud protection. Be vigilant of card skimmers at ATMs or businesses, and you can do that with a quick check of the machine. Beware if the card reader is misaligned, the keypad feels flimsy, or appears to be separating from the device. Most providers now have safety features to protect from card skimmers, but you do want to be extra cautious if you are one of those people using an older card. And consumers should always refer to official event sources and retailers when registering or making purchases related to the draft. As always, you can report any suspected identity theft to the FTC at identitytheft.gov.
Michelle Renee, thank you. Good tips there. Well, in other news, let's take a look at this. A Wisconsin artist is putting the final touches on his NFL Draft Day installation. The NFL saw the work of Ike Winter online. That led to the league asking him to create 32 wood art pieces for the draft. Winter's work is in line with the theme of this year's draft, built by community. He says the materials he used were found on the side of the road or in alleys in Milwaukee.
Being from Milwaukee and from Wisconsin has been a big part of my brand and the way I storytell my journey. So now to represent it on such a national stage is very surreal for me. I'm just beyond grateful for the opportunity.
And this will be featured in the display along the Draft Theater walkway. The NFL Draft takes place April 24th to the 26th in Green Bay.
How cool is that?
Very cool. And to see a fellow Wisconsinite doing this type of work.
Oh, yeah. Love to see that.
Always a good thing.
Or really good craftsmanship there. They can do so many wonderful things on, machines and with technology when it comes to woodworking. Looks like that might have a hand in this, but still take a look at it if you are headed to Green Bay for the draft coming up here in just a couple weeks.
All right, let's check in with Jacob. What's coming up?
See cloudy skies much of today. We do have a small chance of rain late, but the weekend does look dry. However, I do have to track a chance of some snow next week. The details coming up after the break.
And we've made it to Friday, which means we're working for the weekend in the 608 this morning. I'll have 3 things to do just ahead.
You're watching News 3 Now this morning. Moving forward.
Clean out your closets and attics and dig deep for those collectibles because today is the last day the Toy Scout is in town. Joining us this morning is Jeff Schreifer, the Toy Scout Road Manager. Good morning.
Morning.
Glad to have you here. You got a lot of cool things here.
Exactly.
Yeah, so what toys are you all collecting while you're in town?
So we're doing the 1980s and older. And today is our last day. We're open from 9 a.m. till 3 p.m. And we're looking for, G.I. Joe, Star Wars, Barbie, old comic books from, these are from the 50s, 1980s and older. We got some great baseball cards here. We got Willie Mays, we got Mickey Mantle, got an old Johnny Unitas football card. Wow. I mean, we do all kinds of old stuff.
Yes, and so what makes these items so special? And people can score cash on this, right?
Exactly. So you can search your attics, your basements, your garages, toys that you had when you were a kid or your kids had when they were a kid and they left them there and you want to get rid of them. So yeah, come down, see me. I pay cash, and you can get more information on toyscout.com, and we also have a hotline you can call, and that's 561-628-1990. But as far as like desirability of toys is nostalgia. Nostalgia is a really big part of our business. It's memories. So, our customers that sell the toys, they've had them for a long time and they've got all their, fun out of them, and they're kind of want to move on and downsize and stuff. But then there's the customers that buy the toys from us after we take it back to the warehouse and inventory everything. And, they want to have toys they had when they were a kid. I mean, when you're a kid, things were easy, things were fun. And then when you get older, you know how it is.
Yeah, so it kind of takes you back for a moment there.
Yep.
Yeah, so how has the event been over the past few days?
Fantastic. We had a great turnout. We're here till 3 o'clock today. So last chance for everybody to come out, search your attics, your basements, your garages, and see what you can find for me. And we also do old coins, 1964 and older, mostly silver, and we do gold coins too. And we do gold jewelry. So if you have any old jewelry that, you don't wear anymore, or even broken gold jewelry, we take that. And class rings is a big thing. Oh. So if you have any gold class rings, we buy those too.
Is there anything that you don't take?
We don't take Beanie Babies, Cabbage Patch dolls, and sports cards from like the 1980s to the present.
Okay, so that's some of those things that you can keep at home, but the other stuff, bring it all in. And you were talking about the hotline, the Toy Scout hotline. So what does this do?
So you can call and just ask questions about, the item that you have, or a lot of people want more information about, kind of what we do and stuff. And so that we provide all that on the hotline. So if you have an item, you're curious about it, or you want to get more information about the event, just give us a call. We always have somebody available to answer at the hotline.
Very good. Well, Jeff, we want to thank you so much for joining us.
Well, thank you.
And of course, we'll have all of these details that you need to know on channel3000.com.
Good morning, everybody. Here's a final look at the 3 things you need to know. We are going to see some light showers later today into overnight, with dry conditions expected by the weekend, so that rain is expected to clear out. We then are going to see the chance of some snow by the time we get to Monday morning, as temperatures do look to fall. Now for today, we'll see partly sunny skies early, but then we're going to see mostly cloudy skies for the afternoon and evening. The rain will be very light. A lot of the area may miss out on the rain entirely, so overall this is not not going to be a big issue. May continue to see some of those showers overnight, but most of them will clear out by sunrise Saturday. Maybe a few lingering sprinkles, but otherwise fairly dry for your Saturday right now. And it does look like the skies will become mostly clear by the afternoon and evening, so kind of opposite of what we're going to see today. High temperatures today near 50, a little bit cooler as you get closer to the lake with a little bit of a lake breeze expected today. And for overnight, we'll see lows in the upper 30s, lower 40s, so not as cold as we're seeing this morning. And then for the weekend, we are going to see highs near 50 again. The average high is 52, so it's very close to normal for this time of the year. A little breezy Saturday, but otherwise partly sunny and very seasonable for your weekend. Then the temperatures will cool down for Monday, and that's going to cause the chance of some snow showers, mainly Monday morning, as the snow is not expected to last very long. We're not expected to see accumulation, and it will clear out quickly, and if it does accumulate, it will melt very quickly, but we may still see some slippery roads at times as the snow is falling. But again, it is going to clear out by Monday evening and Tuesday. And looking just overall at the precipitation totals we're expecting over the next 7 days, we're going to struggle to get even a quarter of an inch. So this does include the rain tonight and the snow on Monday. But in both cases, we're not going to see much in the form of precipitation. And after Monday, we're not going to see much either. In fact, after Monday, it'll really start to feel like spring towards the end of next week as temperatures will slowly warm up into the lower 60s by the time we get to next weekend.
All right, Jacob. A lot to break down tonight and into Monday. Appreciate it. All right, it's Friday, and this morning we are working for the weekend in the 608.
Josh Ryder joining us now with his 3 things to do this weekend. Good morning.
Hey, good morning, guys. Happy Friday. It is the first weekend of April, which means we're starting to see the transition to more outside events as the weather gets a little warmer, of course. Saturday is set to be a fun night at Breese-Stevens Field. UW Madison soccer set to take on Forward Madison FC for a little local showdown. Gates open at 5. Families can enjoy beats from the DJ along with family-friendly activities like face painters, balloon artists, and petting zoo animals. Kickoff is set for 6. Tickets are available now, starting at around $24. Starting tomorrow, UW-Madison Science Expeditions kicks off a full weekend of fun. We previewed this live yesterday in the 608. It's a campus-wide open house featuring hands-on science exhibits, presentations, and tours. Outdoor activities will also take place. We have a link with the full schedule on channel3000.com. And finally, this weekend is the final late winter market at Garver Feed Mill, which means the Dane County Farmers Market returns to Capitol Square next weekend. We'll be live with a preview of that next week, but in the meantime, be sure to support your local farmers Saturday morning from 8 to noon. We have more happenings in the 608 this weekend on channel3000.com. Finally made it to Friday. I know we were talking a little bit earlier. Chris is like, the week flew by, and I'm like,
so
I don't
too.
know. This week kind of dragged on, but it was also that first week after vacation, so like that catch up of like the 1,600 plus emails that I had waiting for me once I returned. So you know how fun that is.
Oh yeah.
So mentally, you were still in the warm weather.
I was
relaxing on the beach, but. Well, hello.
I know, and I was kind of hoping the weather would be a little bit better since we're in April, but not quite there yet.
Not quite there yet, and I can't believe the farmers market starts next week.
Isn't that exciting? I know. There's a lot to look forward to coming up. The terrace chairs are coming back. We have some fun live shots coming up over the next couple of weeks.
We just got to get over Monday and the snow chance. Hopefully, once we get over that, it's smooth sailing from there.
Only up from there.
Hopefully. Josh, thanks.
You bet.
All right, well, we do have a question of the day this morning for our viewers. This is a chance to score some tickets, so please listen very closely. Our question this morning is, when did the Midwest Horse Fair start in Madison? Look at your screen right now. Those answers, 1983, 1974, or 1979.
All right, so if you go to our website, channel3000.com, and fill in an answer, you'll be entered for a chance to win some tickets to the Midwest Horse Fair. Just log on and then make sure to head to the fair April 11th through the 13th at the Alliant Energy Center.
Hopefully you do a lot better than me. I got it wrong, so.
I'll say they told you the answer in the back. I'll say, yeah, we can't say the answer to you, but just know that you can score some tickets. So yeah, head to our website right now, fill in that answer, and you could have a chance to be hanging with the horses. There you go. You and your animal impressions are always top tier.
Always.
Gotta love it.
I'm here for it.
Well, coming up in the morning sprint, the automaker offering employee discount pricing on some models to all car shoppers.
If you have a little kiddo turning 3 soon, send us a picture. We'll show it on TV. 6:54, time for the morning sprint.
This morning, the search continues for 2 missing boaters in the Wisconsin River. Right now, search efforts continue as darkness ends. And the Wisconsin Dells Police Department says that a boat capsized around 4:30 yesterday afternoon just south of the Kilbourne Dam. At least 3 people fell into water, but 1 person swam safely to shore. Due to high flow of water and currents, divers could not search underwater. The name of the missing boaters have not been released at this time.
The frantic sell-off on Wall Street continues this morning following the worst day since 2020. Dow futures are down more than 1,400 points in overnight trading. It comes as China announced overnight 34% reciprocal tariffs on imports of U.S. goods. Yesterday's sell-off wiped out more than $2 trillion of American investments.
We now know more details on how officials found 17-year-old Sophia Franklin. Police found her at a truck stop near Omaha, Nebraska. A trucker became suspicious when she saw Franklin with 40-year-old Gary Day, the father of Franklin's unborn child. The trucker alerted police and they took Day into custody.
A TikTok ban could start tomorrow. That's unless Chinese parent company ByteDance sells it. A bipartisan law is set to ban it over national security concerns. The White House is working on a deal to keep TikTok in U.S. app stores. Under the law, ByteDance has to sell 80%. It can't coordinate data sharing with TikTok, and it can't control the algorithm.
Ford Motor Company announced it will sell select models at the employee discount price. Officials unveiled the promotion as the new 25% U.S. tariff on foreign vehicles took effect. The automaker builds 80% of vehicles in the U.S., but could face steep tariffs on imported vehicle parts.
And here's a final look at your 7 to 10 day forecast. Just a few small chances of precipitation. First in the form of light rain this evening and overnight, and then in the form of some light snow Monday morning. But overall, we're not going to see a lot going forward. Temperatures will cool down for Monday and Tuesday, and then they're going to be in the 60s by next weekend. So looks like it's going to be very nice for the start of the farmers market.
Yes, we need that. Tired talking about the snow.
We need it.
All right, Jacob, thank you.
We'll have a news and weather update in 30 minutes. Hey, Squirrel.